biting winter wind whipped around the old Victorian house, a relentless howl that seemed to carry whispers from the surrounding skeletal trees. I was 16, a reluctant babysitter for the Miller kids, a chore I'd taken on for extra cash, though the sheer isolation of their place always unsettled me. It sat on the edge of town, a brooding sentinel against the darkening sky, miles from the nearest neighbor. The children, a boisterous pair named Timmy and Sarah, were already asleep upstairs, their dreams blissfully unaware of the growing unease that permeated the house. I'd settled onto the worn velvet couch in the living room, a book open on my lap, though my eyes kept drifting to the large, arched window that overlooked the overgrown back garden. It was a foolish habit, this constant scanning of the darkness, but the house had a way of creaking and groaning like a ship in a storm, and every shadow seemed to hold a lurking threat. Around 11, the power flickered. Just a brief dip, barely enough to dim the lamps, but it sent a jolt of adrenaline through me. I stood up, my heart thudding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The wind outside intensified, rattling the window panes with a ferocity that sounded almost personal. Then I saw it. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light, a smudge on the glass, or perhaps a branch swaying in the gale. But it was too distinct, too still, despite the wind's fury. A figure, tall and unnaturally gaunt, standing just beyond the reach of the dim porch light, its form silhouetted against the deeper black of the night. My breath hitched. It wasn't a deliveryman or a lost hiker. There was something profoundly wrong about its posture, the way it seemed to absorb the scant illumination rather than reflect it. It was impossibly still, as if it had materialized from the very shadows themselves. I forced myself to walk closer, my footsteps unnervingly loud on the polished hardwood floor. The children's soft snores drifted from upstairs, a stark contrast to the icy dread that was beginning to coil in my stomach. As I neared the window, the figure didn't move, didn't react to my approach. It simply watched. Its face was obscured by the darkness, a void where features should have been. Yet, I could feel its gaze, a palpable weight pressing against the glass, against my very soul. It was a gaze filled with an ancient, malevolent hunger, a chilling stillness that promised nothing but torment. I wanted to scream, to run, to bolt for the door, and leave the children to whatever this was. But my feet were rooted to the spot, my lungs refusing to draw air. A cold sweat broke out on my forehead. I could see my own terrified reflection superimposed over the figure, a fragile ghost against a backdrop of true horror. Then slowly, deliberately, a long, pale finger, impossibly thin and jointed, tapped against the glass. One tap, then another, a slow, methodical rhythm that echoed the frantic beating of my own heart. It wasn't asking for entry. It was marking time. It was letting me know it wasn't going anywhere. It was simply waiting for me to break. And in that moment, staring into the abyss where its face should have been, I knew it wouldn't be long. Hello, I'm Acula, and you've stumbled upon the Acula Files. Did you think the night was over? It's only just begun. That tapping, it wasn't just a warning, it was an invitation. And the one outside, it's still waiting. But it's not alone. There are others. They move in the shadows, drawn to fear, to isolation. They feed on it, and they never stop watching. Subscribe now before they notice you're watching too.